Hi fellow YouTubers in the gun community. I have a Sig 522 SCM and we took it out for a third or fourth time to shoot it and went to take the gun apart to clean it again, and there is a small clip. This is the bolt I removed from the gun, and basically this feeds through here under spring pressure, and there's a small clip that clips on here, a little E-clip, and that E-clip basically blew off. I've lost the clip. When I took the gun apart, it just fell off, and I contacted Sig, and they gave me an upgraded kit, which is the new spring, a new pin, a new block, not sure exactly what it's called. There's a small pin that is pressed in. Remove this one. It's too bad that Sig didn't just put it in there. But there is a small pin that needs to be pressed into the end of the bar. This bar here comes without. This bar here comes without the pin, so I need to put the pin in, and I've got to press it in like this pin. And then I will install the new spring and the new block and the new clip, and hopefully this issue goes away. It did claim that this is a recoil spring kit upgrade, so I'm assuming this won't happen again once I've installed this. So what I'll do first is I will install the pin. I will install the small pin into the rod. Simple enough. I'm just going to take it over to the vise and tap it in. I'll be right back. Okay, it's now 25 minutes later. I've got to say, Sig probably has a fixture for this, and it'd be the easiest thing in the world to press that pin in if you've got the right fixture. I definitely didn't want to lose this pin, so the first thing I did was I took my 1/16 punch and I took the pin, and you can see here I've actually got heat shrink tubing that I put over the pin punch and around the pin, so I kept the two of them together so I did not lose this little pin. So now I don't need this piece of heat shrink tubing. I can toss that away. And then once I got that, laid it in the V block, and then tapped away, finally got everything straight, so I was able to tap it in place. I even had to get my son to hold this thing straight while I tapped it in the rest of the way. So finally got it in. That little stinking pin. Sig, if you're watching, just press the pin in and get it done. Makes life so much easier for the person receiving it. The rest of this is a pretty simple process. Slip this in. Slip in the new spring. Compress the spring. Put in the block. There is a shallow end and there's a deep end. You're going to put it on the shallow end first. Put on the shallow end. That's holding everything nice and tightly together. And then we're going to take this little E-clip, little tiny E-clip, if you can see that, and we're going to clip that over the end of this. And that's the whole reason this thing failed in the first place, was because the E-clip fell off. I don't know how this new kit helps. Okay, and that E-clip is put on. As you can see, the E-clip is in place. On the end, you release it and it sits into the little recess. So it's good to go. So now, to reassemble that back into the gun, I even tried a nail set. I tried all different things trying to get that thing in. Gun is all lubed up. Let me just add a little bit more lube to it. Okay. Okay, the lube's been added. Now we will slip this guy back into the rifle. Everything in here is already all lubed up. It was all cleaned a week ago while I waited for Sig to supply the part. This slides right in here. This whole thing slides forward. And this is all assembled and ready to go. I just need to stick the back end onto this rifle, which is pretty easy. Pin here, and the whole bottom section's on. So let me just get that together. Voila. Back together. No issues. Yeah, it's funny, the front pin is kind of a pain to get in because this whole front grip section floats until you push that pin through. So it's kind of a pain. You've got to try to line everything up here so that you can push that pin through on the front. Back pin is easy. And we are good to go. So hopefully you found this fun and exciting. I recommend, if you don't want to go through all the work, I believe these two rods are exactly the same, and there's the old rod. So the old rod already had the pin pushed into it. That's the toughest part of this whole procedure, switching out these parts. I do recommend, if you get a chance, before your gun breaks, is just call up Sig and ask for them to send you the replacement part. That way you don't have to the gun was down for a week and a half while I waited for things. And I'm in Connecticut and they're in New Hampshire. I was surprised, but as Sig came through, I was expecting just a little clip. And they supplied the block, the rod, the spring, so can't wait to go back and start shooting it. Really enjoy shooting this little gun. So, thanks for watching.